very, very sad.
It's scary.
A genuine disaster.
There's no denying that the sea is really, really sick.
Well, good evening and welcome to this 7 News Adelaide special event live from our Hindmarsh studios.
Tonight we take a deep dive into South Australia's algal bloom crisis, widely regarded as one of the greatest environmental disasters our state has seen.
Rod, you've been a fisherman for 45 years. How worried are you?
Extremely worried. It's just something that we would never have guessed would happen.
And how has this impacted your business?
Well, we've shelved both the charter boats. They're not active at all, haven't been since early March. Commercially, we're not fishing out of this area, and our seafood shop has plummeted downhill with its turnover and daily takings, customers, everything through people not being assured of how safe it is to eat the fish.
This one's for you, Premier. You heard Rod. He's sounding a bit grim there. Have we been let down on this?
Well, look, we're dealing with an unprecedented set of circumstances that we've never seen before in the history of the state, let alone the rest of the country, Rosanna. And I think it's important that people appreciate what is causing the algal bloom. And there are a number of things that have come together that have never happened at the same time in the same place, and that has resulted in the algal bloom exploding. It's important for people to understand that the algae is always in our waters. It is always there. What we've seen, though, is a massive increase in the volume of nutrients in our waters, starting back from the 22-23 floods that we saw in the River Murray, the biggest since 1956, combined with a major upwelling event, and then, of course, the marine heat wave. And these things have come together to really see this explode in an unprecedented way.
But we've known about it for so long. Have we moved fast enough?
Well, the scientists have been telling us consistently, particularly back in March, that this would go as soon as the waters start to cool, which would normally happen in May and June. But the marine heat wave has persisted, and the Karenia mickemoitoi, which is the variant of algae that is dominant here, has proven to be resilient beyond all of the scientists' forecasts. Now, while there is a bit of optimism about what will happen from here, from other global experience where we've seen this, we have to prepare for the worst and hope for the best, and that's exactly what the government has been doing.
All right, let's take another question, and this is one that really, frankly, a lot of people are talking about. Have a listen.
Where did it come from? They're saying climate change, but I have to be honest, there's a lot of talk in the community about that Chinese ship that went up and down the coast.
Yeah, big thanks to Sheila for that question. You hear that, you hear the desal plant. These are some of the theories that are knocking around. Have they been looked at, and have they been managed to be explained away?
Yeah, each have been thoroughly examined, and every time we hear an idea coming from the community, it is looked at. But we can say with absolute confidence, without qualification, that the desal plant and Chinese warships have nothing to do with this. It started from that 2022-2023 flood, biggest since 1956, along with the other nutrients coming to the water.
Asher, did you have something to say?
Yeah, we actually did a range of studies. So as soon as these fish kills were seen, we actually went out and did some of that water sampling, and it came back as normal nutrient, normal temperature, normal salinity. So we were really confident that the desal wasn't an issue because we actually did the test physically as quickly as we could. So, yeah, we were happy to put that to bed.
OK, it's good that we've struck that one off. Well, let's move to this next question. This one came to us via social media, and it's, will the bloom get worse when the weather warms up? Professor Greta Petzel, without having a crystal ball, what can we expect?
Yeah, as climate change progresses and nutrient pollution increases, we are expecting that the scale of harmful algal blooms will increase over time. And what will happen in this particular case with this bloom, as the temperature warms up, over summer, for example, we're not entirely sure, because this bloom is actually a mixed species bloom.
The number one thing we got responses about here on Channel 7 was human health, and as you may well understand it, huge topic for our viewers. So many questions, and here's why. Take a listen.
Rob Thomas is a dedicated winter swimmer, but for the past month he's ditched the ocean for the pool.
Most of us have quit swimming right now while the algal bloom's there.
He says not only is swimming among dead fish not appealing, he's also concerned about the potential impact of the toxins on his health. And a quick survey revealed he's not alone.
Running noses, that sort of stuff, yeah, stinging in the eyes. So, yeah, so I stopped swimming after that.
I walk my dogs as well, and I don't particularly want to walk my dogs on the beach.
For some, these concerns also flow to the kitchen, with consumers turning away from SA seafood.
I haven't bought any for a good few weeks now.
Bit concerned. Don't really know, if it'll be good for you.
I've gone to Tassie salmon.
What was the catalyst for the change?
Well, in case I was going to get sick. But now the Premier's endorsing that it's safe, then I think I will go back.
So maybe the tide is turning.
My question is it safe for my family to eat the fish that we catch? Because my granddad's quite into fishing, so it's really quite important for my family.
What about you, Professor Spurrier, as far as these fish go? And have you had any reports of people falling ill from eating these fish that have been caught off jetties, off of beaches?
No, and it's very important to get this one right, because if you look at the fish worldwide and where they have had very significant algal blooms, particularly Florida, and actually their particular algae is a different species to ours, which actually produces a toxin. There have been no reports, no confirmed reports of getting sick with a brevetoxin from eating fish flesh. There was one anecdotal report in the 1990s, and it was someone eating a whole fish that they hadn't gutted it, but it was, as I said, anecdotal. So absolutely, our SA Health advice is very, very clear. If you're doing recreational fishing, totally fine to eat the fish, eat the lobster, crayfish, but just gut it, make sure you take all the guts and throw it away and just have the fish flesh. Totally fine.
All the animals are washing up dead. Quite sad.
Welcome back. It's touched everyone, young and old, and our tourism industry is particularly worried about what's to come, with hordes of holiday makers cancelling their plans. But as Casey Trelaw discovered, they're pleading with all of us to keep the bookings coming.
We're on the east coast of Yorke Peninsula, where tourism is taking a big hit, but locals insist they still have plenty to offer.
It's the crabbing and the fishing that people do come to do, but let me tell you, there is still so much more that you can do in Ardrossan and the surrounding areas.
Go and have a look at the Moonta Mines and the candy stores, and there's lots of wineries, lots of breweries, lots of different things to see within an hour and a half of Adelaide.
We also have live music throughout from Christmas through to New Year's.
At this stage, not all of the Yorke Peninsula is affected by the algal bloom. On the western side of the peninsula, there's still plenty of great fishing spots.
If we don't get your support now, these towns and businesses may not be here when you're ready to come back.
So please come and support us as much as you can until this bloom is over, and hopefully soon.
If we had dead fish and marine life washing up day after day on Bondi Beach, there'd be a national outcry.
The message is pretty clear. The federal response has been sluggish, and South Australians do know it. Even the Batuta Advocate nailed it with this headline. It said, government tells Adelaide to let them know when the algal bloom spreads a bit further east. It is satire, sure, but painfully close to the truth, because for most of us here, that is exactly how it feels. Now, this next question has also been playing on everyone's minds. Will beaches stay open in summer if there's still dead fish everywhere? Premier, it's a big call.
All our advice is that beaches will remain open. I think what we are doing, though, at the moment is preparing for the worst, and that includes the development of a comprehensive summer plan.
You're already starting to plan for what comes after the recovery phase.
We want to make sure that once the algal bloom moves on in the volume we currently see it, that we allow the marine environment to recover quickly, which it is very capable of indeed. In fact, it's miraculous. And that's about investing in reefs. And we've been working with Recfish to say in that regard, but tonight we announced that there is a 15-hectare program on investment in new reefs, doing it in conjunction with volunteer organisations which are been pouring out in a way just looking to help, to use recycled oysters, to put 15 hectares of new reef in 15 different locations along our marine environment to accelerate that recovery.